One of the most important things to know before you go to Disney World is which rides have the longest waits. And you may just assume that that's just the newest rides, but that's not actually the case. Some of the most popular rides are actually decades old at this point. Hi, I'm James from Guide to WDW, and because I am a huge nerd, I took all of the wait time data from 2023 on ThrillData.com and broke down which rides at Disney World had the longest lines. Why did I do this? Is it because I have too much time? Maybe, but it's actually because this is a really important thing to know for planning your Disney World trip. These are the rides that you'll want to prioritize and go on when lines are the lowest, and the rides you'll want to avoid during the busiest hours. Stick around to the end of this video because I have a few tips on how to avoid the long lines for these incredible and incredibly popular rides. First, a big caveat about two rides you won't find on this list: Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind and Tron Light Cycle Run. Disney World's two newest roller coasters have virtual queues, not regular standby lines, and there's really no good way to compare the wait times for them to the other rides at the parks. I'd assume they'd be pretty high on this list, but we'll have to wait until Disney finally gets rid of the virtual queue to find out, if that ever happens. Okay, let's make sure that the hyperdrive motivator isn't damaged and punch it into light speed on the number 10 ride on this list, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. The fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy has a not-so-fast line. Even still, it's pure nerd wish fulfillment. The wait is worth it alone for the recreation of the Millennium Falcon's interior and the iconic cockpit. And then the ride itself is pure chaos. A video game with no tutorial, and your pilots will very likely be two 5-year-olds who have no idea what they're doing and will just be screaming and crashing the whole time. I love it. So what was the average wait time last year? 66 minutes. Moving on to the next ride, keep your head back, face forward, and get ready to scream! Sorry, wrong launch coaster, because number 9 is Rock 'n' Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios. Yes, the ride that everyone speculates will get a new soundtrack with a new band, and then inevitably keeps the same Aerosmith theme, broke into the top 10 for waits in 2023. If you choose to go on this ride, you'll walk this way through the line for an average of 71 minutes. The next ride on the list actually surprised me because it's one of my bigger disappointments at Disney World. That's Na'vi River Journey. This ride is all vibes, and admittedly the vibes are immaculate. Plus, the Shaman of Song animatronic is incredible, the best robot at Disney World. But it all ends way too soon, and you'll be waiting an average of 72 minutes for an experience that's fairly short and underwhelming. That's why it's one of my picks for the rides that aren't worth the wait at Disney World, which is my next video. Be sure to get subscribed so you can see what other rides from this top 10 list aren't worth the long wait. Let's move on to the oldest ride on this list, because this attraction has been operating since Magic Kingdom opened in 1971. And after 53 years, it's still as popular as ever, because Peter Pan's flight had an average wait time of 73 minutes, landing in the number 7 spot on our list. Okay, it's time to go back, over the falls and into the unknown at Epcot, where Frozen Ever After is the number 6 ride on this list. This ride is super fun, and after 8 years, it's definitely proven to be more popular than Maelstrom, the ride that it replaced, with an average wait of 74 minutes, during which you can listen to Let It Go 19.73 times in a row. Fun fact. Next, we don't have to go too far to find the number 5 ride on this list, because it's also in Epcot. Is it Test Track? Soarin'? No, you'll want to stroll across World Showcase and into France to find Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of underwhelmed by Remy the first time I rode it, but this ride has really grown on me. The huge sets, the 3D sequences, the smells, it's a blast, and one of my favorite rides in Epcot now. Let's just hope that you're not overcooked after your 76 minutes in line, on average. Now to number 4. Hi ho, it's off to Fantasyland we go for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which actually isn't the most popular roller coaster at Disney World. That's later on this list. But with swinging cars, a brilliant dark ride scene that's packed with gags and details, and some approachable thrills, this is the ideal first roller coaster for kids that's still super fun for adults. The number 3 ride is actually a little bit of a surprise to me because I thought for sure it would be in the top 2. After all, it had a staggering 5.5-hour wait during the busiest day at Disney World last year. Of course, I'm talking about Avatar Flight of Passage. And yes, you could watch Avatar and Avatar Way of Water during that absurdly long wait on your iPhone, as James Cameron intended. But on normal days, the wait time for this incredible ride is 95 minutes, which feels downright reasonable in comparison. Now we've reached the top 2. Picture, if you will, a ride in Hollywood studios with the glitz and glamour of riding in a vehicle shaped like a wiener dog toy. What, were you thinking of some other ride? Slinky Dog Dash has the second longest wait at Disney World, just barely edging out the Na'vi of Pandora with a 96-minute wait. This coaster is a ton of fun, with 2 launches and a surprisingly high thrill factor for a family coaster. Is it worth waiting over an hour and a half? Well, there's a good reason why this Lightning Lane sells out so early. And to get to the number 1 ride, you actually don't have to walk too far from Toy Story Land. Just head on over to Galaxy's Edge for Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, which has been the king of long wait times since it moved to a standby queue in 2021. And it isn't even close, since the ride had an average wait of 108 minutes last year. This is one of the most incredible rides I've ever been on. And if you haven't been on it, just make it one of your top priorities the next time you go to Disney World. It's as much of an experience as it is a ride, and for something so unique and next level, it's actually worth the wait. Although probably also worth the individual Lightning Lane price if you can swing it. So those are the longest lines at Disney World, but what can you do about it? Here are a few quick tips to avoid the lines. Get to the park before opening and go straight to the rides you want to go on most. They'll sometimes start operating these rides a few minutes before the official park opening, and you'll have a chance to get on these rides with a much lower wait time. Consider purchasing Genie Plus or individual Lightning Lane. These are both ways to skip the regular line depending on the ride. With wait time so long, these can save you hours per day in the parks, so it might actually be worth the money. You can check out my explainer on what Genie and Lightning Lane are that will give you the basics in under 2 minutes. That'll be linked below. Go on the ride right before park closing. Usually the wait is much shorter, and as long as you're in the line for the ride by the time the park closes, you can still go on it. They don't just immediately shut down the ride as soon as the park closes and kick out everybody that's already waiting in the line. If you're in the line, you can go on the ride. If you found this useful, be sure to give this video a like and get subscribed to Guide to WDW, because I'm also working on park-by-park breakdowns of the busiest rides per park so you can better plan each day of your vacation. This has been James from Guide to WDW. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you real soon.